So, did I ever tell you the story how I met my wife? It's also a very interesting story. In fact, it's actually quite amazing. Sometimes even I don't believe it. You see, I was working at the new school, teaching art history, and she had a job downtown in an art gallery. She was also moonlighting as a taxi driver to make extra money. She has a deadbeat ex-husband and two young children. But chances are we never would have met. Well, one day I was browsing at the Metropolitan Museum of Art, and I came upon the most exquisite work of art I'd ever seen in my life. I just stood there, staring at her. Now, she was standing in the back of this long exhibit hall, a crowd of people in between us. Suddenly, she turned her head, looked in my direction, and our eyes met. And I felt the most amazing connection. It had never happened to me like that before. Well, I knew I had to walk right over there and speak with her. The problem was, I couldn't move. I just stood there, absolutely stunned. And by the time I snapped out of it, she was gone, vanished into the crowd. Well, you better believe I ran my ass all through that museum looking for her. Every exhibit on every floor, but I couldn't find her. They practically had to throw me out of the museum at closing time. So I went home, determined to forget about her. But I couldn't get those eyes off my mind. So, the very next week, I found myself right back there at the museum. In fact, I started spending my spare time in museums all over the city, just in the 1 in a million chance that I'd get to see her again. But I never did. Well, I'm embarrassed to say, this went on for months. Time had lost all meaning. One day, it was a Thursday, I think. I'd spent an entire afternoon at another museum, and I stopped and I said to myself, what the hell are you doing? You're living your life for a fantasy. It's not going to happen. You're never going to see her again. So, I marched right out of that museum, down the stairs, into the street. It was raining really hard, so I hailed a taxi, slid into the back seat, and guess who was behind the wheel? It's true, I swear. Well, I finally got the opportunity to tell her what I've been waiting to tell her all this time, that I couldn't live without her. And ever since then, I've become the most perfectly happy man, and she's the most wonderful woman in the world. And every day I am more and more certain of that fact. And so damn thankful that she and I were able to meet and build a life.